Welcome back, and the show is still Good Morning Abuja. And yes, let's have a very interesting conversation now. I'm talking about a conversation that we started over 2 weeks ago on the program. Yes, remember when I brought you that photography genius who was telling us all the wonderful things we could achieve by the use of photography? Well, we are deepening the conversation this morning, and this time around, we are asking a very vital question: why is photography not inculcated into the school curriculum of the Nigerian school system? Yes, it beats me. I want to know why. Why are we not doing this? We already established how important photography is. But first, let's warmly welcome Ugochukwu Akogasi, the MD CEO, Camera Zone Academy, to the studio. Welcome on the show, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Mr.
Yes, in continuation of our discussion where we talked about how relevant and important photography is to job creation, especially given the partnership the federal government had with the Google team in creating over 1 million jobs for our teen youth. That conversation gave birth to the need to have prepared minds, especially those with the photography skill set. And in preparing these minds, most of our children spend all their time in the school, at least from the basic school up till the university. But what is lacking, especially within the basic school and senior secondary school, is the knowledge, photography knowledge. It's like if you have this knowledge, you learn it on your own. And seeing how vital and important it is as you made us to understand. Is it important enough to form part of the school curriculum?
Thank you. Photography, as we have enumerated, is very important. And actually, it's part of the secondary school skilled curriculum. It's there. But the challenge is most schools are not doing it
Okay,
based on the claim for lack of manpower.
okay,
They are doing some other subjects, skill subjects. But we, the photo enthusiasts association, we are honing it and we are sensitizing it, going from school to school to make them understand the importance of photography skill in the
okay.
curriculum. It was embedded there. Photography is like the language, the English language of technology. You have English language. You have the English language of technology is photography.
Wonderful.
Because whatever you are communicating through photo storytelling gets across. So, but the challenge is a lot of people are still, in quote, myopic. They believe that photography is only analog. It's like their old parents driving bicycle to take picture. We have passed that stage. It's about digital photography. And the only way you can curate and enhance a child with creative and imaginative capacity is through photography. Because when he can be able not to take picture, but to make picture and create picture, you are only enhancing his creative imagination. And it goes a long way in the developmental process of the mind of that student
Oh,
or that child. So it is there, that's why we are honing it. It has to be followed up.
okay.
It's not just being there for them to follow up and make it the core subject because, as I said, is the language of technology. We are past the inventive age. Science is inventive, engineering is inventive, technology is creative, and creativity is the backbone of development.
That is very correct. Now you mentioned that one of the problems some of the schools have given, based on your sensitization that you've done in some schools, is that they do not have the manpower. What other factors have they listed as being responsible for them not executing this very important aspect of the curriculum since it's there?
Thank you again. Most of the time, ask somebody, why are you not doing this? You say he doesn't have time. He doesn't have this. It's just an the argument is like he does not want to create time, not that he doesn't have time. So when it comes to photography, they have not really sat down and digest the importance, because if they have done that, they will get manpower, and that manpower we can supply them. So that is just a flaming excuse. Also, about studio, that one is simple. So we are encouraging them. This curriculum has been there. Enforce it, implement it. It's for the benefit of the students, benefit of the child, and benefit of the nation. First of all, no matter how productive you think, there is a constructive reasoning. But the basis of all these things is creativity and imagination. If your creative ability does not overcome your productive and constructive reasoning, you cannot go forward.
Okay.
And that's only what photography does for you.
Wonderful. This is it is inspiring to know. But first, let's take a short break now. When we come back, our conversation with Ugochukwu will continue. So stay with us as we go on the short break. I welcome you on today's ride on the show Good Morning Abuja.
This is Window on Abuja.
We have everything it takes to compete with any nation all across the world.
How do we make it? We are ready to produce.
Have been contributing to the development of your kingdom.
They know my story. Hello and welcome to Young Hearts.
Our focus today will be on hepatitis B. Ladylike!
This is Entertainment Gist.
In the 14th century, 15th, 16th century, and even 17th.
There is for zakah to cure our greed.
The purpose why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided to create humanity.
The Bible talks about a man called Apollos.
This is NTA Abuja Channel 5.
See you same time.
And have a great and blessed week ahead.
Welcome back. The program is still Good Morning Abuja. And if you've been following the conversation, we've been talking about the need for photography to be taught in school and the impact it will make on the Nigerian economy, say in the next 5, 10, 20 years. Who knows? And my guest has been doing justice to the topic, bringing us up to speed on on how important photography is and how good it is to expose children from as early as year 5 to the concept of photography. There's so much we've talked about this morning, and I'm really inspired. It has really opened my mind to the whole concept of photography. Photography is the English language of technology. Photography is the upgrader, is the one that upgrades the windows of not just the children, but all of us processing capacity. I like those two angles that you've made me see this from, and our viewers as well. But let's just quickly now understand one last thing. If we're talking about the private school, then there's a public school. Should this knowledge be for the private school students only? Because you just said now that a private school, should this not also include the public school? This knowledge of photography?
It's for everybody.
Okay.
Whether in public school, private school, or even in individual school. Even if you don't want your child to go to school, you want to teach him at home.
Yeah.
And we understand, first of all, the challenges in the society, which while we are advocating much more to those in the private school is because decisions can easily be taken with a twinkle of an eye.
Yes.
If there is proper understanding and assimilation of the importance of this course. That's why we are centering on that. Our association basically we're planning to generate money we will enter the secondary public schools and donate studios for them.
Okay.
From there, the government we can synergize with the government so that the human and the constraints, the elements surrounding the challenge will be sorted out. That is the reason. But we want to start from the private school. We use some public secondary school. We donate the facilities for them and use them as a test point and a template so that we now invite the government to come in.
Okay. Now, since we've gotten that sorted out of the way, and that's highly commendable. Now let's the parents themselves. When a child comes home and say, "I'm studying photography," some parents don't even allow their children touch their phones. Some parents believe devices as such is distracting. It distracts the children. Some will tell you the content of the internet is so bad that allowing a child access to it is going to corrupt the child's mind. So wouldn't there be issues with parents when you say, for example, photography is being taught in the school and a child wants to take on that course to get that knowledge, and the father says you're going to learn photography, your mates are studying medicine, your mates wants to go and do this and you want to go and do photography. How do you, what's your words to, what words of advice do you have to such parents?
Thank you very much. My advice to them is this. First of all, there is nothing positive that doesn't have a negative aspect. There is nothing negative that also doesn't have a positive aspect.
Yes.
Like anger, there is destructive and constructive anger.
That's true.
You have knife in the house. Somebody can use it to kill everybody in the house. But without it, can you cook soup?
No.
We really have to understand. If you are a parent, which means you're supposed to know objectively what is good for a child.
Yes.
And what we are saying is just for those parents to clean their mind so that they will understand that we are not talking of analog photography. We are talking of digital photography. And digital photography is the brain behind everything now concerning internet and scale and visual exposure.
Exactly.
So we are trying to reach them. We are like what we are doing now. If they are watching, they will understand. They will understand what it takes for a child to have a photographic experience.
So the challenge is to get our youth to carry the box, not to think outside the box. And the concept of photography is that photography is that upgrader, is that brain upgrader, as we've heard from my guest this morning. And also photography is as important as a child's development itself. It's been a pleasure having you on the show, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having
and we
me.
are super proud of all the charitable work you're doing with the Photo Enthusiast Association. Yes, you've been going around and spreading the word, and the promise to be able to contribute by donating studios to schools, public schools, is highly commendable. We're with you on this journey. We look forward to that time when we'll have to go to these schools to actually do the donations. It's still Good Morning Abuja. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, the program continues. Stay with us.